All right, guys, we're moving right along. We're currently on project 4, which is a Porsche project. I'll probably make 2 videos on this one because you see we got a lot of stuff to cover. Unfortunately, these videos to me aren't very good, and they're just kind of review of what you've already done. So I would just pause it for a second and go through some of the stuff we're gonna do. There's nothing really new here. These are just reviews of what you've already done. So the first thing I'd like to do is just kind of go over what we're trying to accomplish here today. So the project set is you're going to create a Porsche advertisement with 3 people, young, middle, and old, to project a timeline of him wanting a Porsche. I'll be a web-based short video about 1 minute long with sound effects and high-energy song. Unfortunately, I did not like the speakers. I thought they were kind of poor. Young Oscar was good, middle age was good, but old Frank, he's got 1 foot in the grave. He's all, oh, life is sad. So I don't like that. So there's 2 things we might do. We might use just these 2, or if you're pretty good and you're slick, you're going to go use ChatGPT to rewrite the story, and I'll help you out, guys, with that a little bit later. So your first thing you want to do on the project is organize it. Then we're going to open up Premiere and make it. Then we're going to, of course, edit it, and I got the special section with the voiceovers. Then you're going to make some special effects with the track matte, and adjustment layers, and so on. Then we're going to export it a couple different ways, so nothing too big there. So let's go ahead and get started. So first things first, let's just take a look at what your organization is at this point. So this is what you should have, something like this: After Effects, Music, Personal, Premiere, and Stuff. We're in Premiere, and of course we are in G-Metrix, so double-click G-Metrix. This is what your Porsche project is right about here. Unfortunately, they gave this to you very, very poorly. So unless you do a little bit of work to clean it up, you're going to have a lot of trouble doing this one. So what you want to do is open it up. There's going to be a lot of junk all over the place. There's subfolders and zip folders and everything else. So remember, this is why I like it. I like a media folder and a Premiere folder. So in the media folder, you should bring everything up so it looks something like this. This is, of course, a mess right now, but I'm not too concerned about it. But this is all my media. So once again, Premiere folder and a media folder, and inside media folder is all this. You do not want to have a Porsche project inside of a Porsche project inside of a Porsche project, which is what you probably currently have right now. So please pause the video and make sure yours looks just like mine. Okay, that takes care of the first step. Once again, please make sure yours looks like mine. I can't stress the importance of that. So we're going to go to Premiere now and make a new project and import the files. So open up your Premiere. And again, I like to close this. The opening splash screen kind of messes some kids up sometimes. I don't like it. So File New project, just like we've always done. It's going to ask, what do you want to call this? This is a PR04 Porsche. And location, of course. Navigate to your correct folder where you want to save it to. There's my Digital Line 3 folder. Here's my Premiere. Here's my G-Metrix. There's my Porsche. And of course, we put it inside the Premiere. PR stands for Premiere. That's the only thing that goes there, just your Premiere file. So 1 step, 2 step, looks good. Create. And now it wants to import all of our files. Now these files are very large. It's going to take a minute to import these things. So just be aware, like I said, it's going to be a minute to do that. So, as always, ignore this opening splash screen and go right to your edit screen. Then you can import. So remember, there's a couple different ways to import. You can double-click here. You can press Import Media here, or go to File, Import, or even Control-I. They all are different ways to import. Don't get stuck doing one way in particular, but I'm a drag and dropper. So what I'm going to do is bring over my files. I like to see exactly what I'm doing and bring it over. So here's all my files. I can drag and drop them. Now there are a Photoshop file right there, so you don't want to bring that over unless you know what you're doing, which you guys kind of do at this point. And there's a PNG as well. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and bring them over. So I'm going to do a Control-A, and I'm going to drag and drop. Now, once again, these are some heavy-duty files. It's going to take a second or 2. Okay, I got to the part where I'm importing the Photoshop layers. So if you look at it, there's not really, you don't want to get everything. So this vignette, you don't want that. You don't want the branches. You probably want the Porsche logo. You want the main background. You probably want the sky. Oops, jeez. You probably want to do the extra background layer, and you definitely want the Porsche logo. Now again, these are so good because they've already set this up in Photoshop, they've already named all these layers. If they didn't name these layers, it'd be a little bit more difficult. Go and click OK on that, and that hopefully has your imported media at this time. So now that you've imported the files, you can kind of see that they're set up with different sections. Remember, of course, here's your normal view, a list view. Notice how there's like this Michael Williams section, there's a DJI section, there's CUs, and then there's some Porsche stuff down and through here. You can also go to icon view, which is what most of us are normally used to. And if you scrub it back and forth, you can see what's going on. Remember, the gray part means you haven't used it yet. You can also go to freeform view, which is not a very popular view, but you can drag things, kind of like group them up. If you're a visual person, that's what you can do. I don't ever use this view. I don't like it. And of course, down here you can zoom in and zoom out depending on how much screen space that you have. I'm going to do a list view for this time because I've got a couple different types of things going on. So you can see that some are green and some are like different colored. The green ones are all of your audios. So I'm going to make a new audio folder and put them in that. So how do I do that? Well, down here at the bottom right hand corner, you've got new folder, new item, stuff, something like that. So what I like to do is to select a couple of them. So I'm going to just click this. I'm going to press Control on my keyboard. 1, 2, 3. And I've selected 3. If you want to, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You probably have less than I do because I've already done some other work on this. But start with those. And I'm just going to drag one, which is all of them, down into the folder. And I'm going to make a new folder just called Audio. Now again, my computer's a little slow just because these are some heavy files. Yours might be hopefully a little quicker. So the next ones we're going to do are, we're going to make a DJI folder, and then a folder for this, then a close-up. So here we go. Let's do the DJIs. The DJIs, these are all drone shots. So let's just select all those, drag one, which is all of them, down into the folder down here. And let's go ahead and make that a drone shots. Okay, the close-up shots are, of course, close-ups. So let's do the close-ups now. Drag and drop. Close-ups. And one of the ones that are left over, I'm just going to start twirling some of these folders closed. So we got these Michael Williams. These Michael Williams shots, I think they're shots from like another car. So let's just put car to car on this one, shall we? I'm going to do it in this view this time. So I'm going to use Shift key. I'm going to click on the first one, press Shift, click on this one. Remember, we don't want to get this folder. I'm going to drag it down, put a new folder in it. And these are going to be called, how about C2C, car to car. If you want to do it another different way, that's fine. Of course, you know you can drag them individually as well if you choose to. But shift click is probably your best bet to get multiple items at one time. And again, my computer is really slow because I'm at home, but that's okay. And these are all the car to cars. And come on, there we go. So there you go. You're looking pretty good. What is this right here? This is looks like it's an audio track. I can probably move that if I need to. No, it's a PNG, so it's a graphic. I'm going to move that into my graphics folder, which is my Porsche title card one right here. Okay, so when you get done, you should have 4 folders, something like this. So once again, you should have a graphics, which is called Porsche at this time. You've got a bunch of audio files. You've got drone shots, close-ups, and car to car. I'm going to go back to list view, and that's what it looks like. As you know, you can twirl these open and see what you have in there. Now, when you twirl them open, you can see what was shot. Since you're taking over someone else's project, you want to take just a second and kind of get a feel for what's going on. So these are, of course, all your audios and the frame rates and so on. This stuff doesn't really matter so much, but you're going to see the length of them. So this one's like 34 seconds long, 51 seconds, and so on. If you go on this one, you're going to see 24 frames per second. You're going to see the media, how long it is. That one's 4 minutes long, or 4 seconds long, I'm sorry. So there's some other ones now. This one's 2 minutes long. So there's some really long ones in here as well. So that's one reason why the files are so big. And you can see the media start, media, and so on. Down here towards the bottom, these are all your title cards. There's not as much information here, except for this right here. Notice that some of these are in 1920 by 1080, which we refer to as 1080. Some are 720, and some are 2K, which is 2180. So there's a lot of varying sizes. So be aware when you bring it in, you're going to have to probably convert it down. Now it looks like all these car to cars are going to be 720p. Why would they do that instead of giving us these full-size files? Well, again, they're trying to reduce sizes. Okay, so that's a good start for us today. Even though we really haven't done much, we imported all the files.